But this is kind of showing you what companies or what media companies are pro or anti child trafficking, which is pretty
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird thing to say. Washington Post and Rolling Stone both praised Cuties. You remember that movie that was about the little girls who were actual little girls, like actual really little girls.
Canceled like The Dark Crystal and a whole bunch of other really good shows that they canceled to put money into. Yeah.
So they were giving praises to Cuties, but now both are attacking Sound of Freedom because clearly they are pro child trafficking. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with.
Wow.
There's no other explanation. They support the sexualization of kids, yet they attack those trying to stop child sex trafficking. Pretty sickening. Yes, it is. So let's see this. So here goes. Rolling Stones, Sound of Freedom, the QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking, is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer.
Who did they get to write that?
Well, we're gonna see because I have that article actually.
I mean that tweet.
Wait, what do you mean?
The tweet was it the same guy who wrote the article?
Who's wrote this tweet right here?
No, isn't that a tweet?
Oh no, this is the article.
But that's a screenshot of a tweet.
Oh yeah. But I mean, Rolling Stone took a picture of their article and just copied the title and just put it in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whoever's in charge of their social media just copy pasted.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
hey there, Sam.
Welcome back, Sam.
And so, you're just all over the place today.
I can't speak today.
Listen, Rolling Stone also this is them when they're talking about Cuties. You know, the movie that was about little girls doing very sexual things, and they were really actual little girls in real life.
Real little girls. Like,
thanks to a major marketing mistake, the award-winning French movie Cuties was accused of sexualizing young girls. It's actually a sensitive portrait of growing pains that deserve to be seen. Pedophile.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I had a little...
What in the world?
Washington Post perspective, Cuties is an unflinching look at what it means to be a preteen girl. No wonder people can't handle it. And then Sound of Freedom, the low-budget film about child sex trafficking, almost topped the box office on July 4th, but its star Jim Caviezel has linked it to the QAnon movement. You know what? I think I like QAnon, if that's the case, because clearly...
QAnon side here. Yeah.
Clearly, if they're against the child sex trafficking, I should be on that side. Not on the side that Washington Post is on right now.
Right, because Cuties is definitely not art.
Yeah, it's not.
Not art. It's
a
fetish that someone documented.
It's art.
Into
it's just pedo art. So
pedo art, yeah.
There you go.
Which, in my book, isn't art.
Yeah.
What are the comments saying?
Imagine the calls. Imagine the calls the head of Disney put out when Sound of Freedom beat them at the box office. None of these smear pieces came out until after that happened. They're trying to bury this movie. Yeah. Oh. Here is the pedo's Twitter. Oh, so this is the person that posted the which one? One of those things. Woke virus. Yeah. Damn.
Let's take him to a cafe. Catch my drift. Give him some
Here is the Rolling Stones of Miles Klee. Let's see. Is this? Let's see if it'll. Ooh. These tweets are protected.
Of course they are.
I wonder why.
I wonder what you could be posting. What could you be posting? I wonder
why your tweets are protected, Millie.
Yeah. It's bullshit, Sam. It's absolute bullshit.
Fucker. That's
all of these posts are.
The Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. What?
Brain? What?
Holy moly, the QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy Seattle boomer. That's crazy. The Sound of is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. Bro, that's insane.
I really hope. Nah, what am I saying? This guy's probably a pedo.
I mean, shit.
I mean, look at that Twitter. Protected Twitter.
It says, based on a true story, quote, and it put it in quotes, I heard from somewhere across the theater. The familiar words had appeared on screen, and an elderly man had taken it upon himself to read them aloud to the rest of a sizable audience seated for a man. Damn, I was about to say man.
Hey, you're having
matinee showing.
Don't be so hard on me, bro.
Right. Matinee showing of the anti-child trafficking thriller Sound of Freedom, starring Jim Caviezel. For the seasoned moviegoer, this phrase is a joke. We know that cinema will stretch almost any truth to the breaking point, and the rank insincerity of such a pronouncement is the foundation of the prankish opening titles of Fargo. Is that a movie? I've never seen it. But this crowd, I could tell, would view the events depicted over the next 2+ hours as entirely literal. Bruh! They're trying to make the argument. Are they trying to make the argument that fucking child trafficking isn't a thing? Like, is that the argument here? I don't.
I hope not, because
I don't. Is it?
You're probably the one with brainworms.
Maybe I do have brainworms.
I mean them, but yeah, maybe you do too. Because
shit.
Maybe I have brainworms too, because I believe in this thing called child trafficking.
Human trafficking? Shit. I mean fuck. What?
It doesn't even have to. Child trafficking is. Human trafficking has existed for literal millennia. Like forever. He was just on the War Room with Steve.
Steve Bannon. Yeah, this guy, Steve, Jim Caviezel, that's this guy.
Yeah.
So that's, wow. Caviezel, best known for being tortured to death in Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ, has become a prominent figure on the conspiracist right.
Always the conspiracist right.
Giving speeches and interviews in which he hints at an underground holy war between patriots and sinister legion of evildoers who are harvesting the blood of children. They're really trying to make them seem like they're right, and they're trying to make it sound as if this shit isn't happening.
You can't because everyone knows that
this shit's for real at this point. Like, there's no.
I mean, you fucked up. You fucked up.
The Rolling Stone.
You've made it too apparent that it exists in the world, and we know exactly. Well, we don't know exactly, but we pretty much got sources. Like, we know where the sourcing of the trafficking is coming from.
Right, and it's funny because the next sentence, it's straight up QAnon stuff, right down to his use of catchphrases like "the storm is upon us." Here he gets to act out some of that drama by playing a fictionalized version of Tim Ballard, head of the anti-sex trafficking nonprofit operation Underground Railroad. Wow. In a feature film that casts the operator as a Batman-style savior for kids sold into the sex trade. That is pretty wild. Y'all are really just out here going against the idea of stopping child trafficking.
Saving the kids.
You know what? I kind of feel as if we should do
being on the kids' side.
We should start doing a leftist style cancellation of companies that are doing like this. Like, just be like, just
cancel the Washington Post,
right? And, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, you're pro child trafficking. Somebody get on this. I'm not even gonna say FBI because I already know the FBI.
FBI ain't gonna do shit.
Right, the FBI is a part of this. So somebody who's got the money and resources, get on this shit.
Let's just start a Twitter movement. Right? Cancel Rolling Stones and Washington Post.
Cancel anyone who is going against.
We need to take down the names of anyone who's employed there and put them all on a list.
Right, that's exactly how they do that shit. Like, put them on a list.
Put on a list and then cancel them. Out them on Twitter. But we're going to be better. We're not going to call for violence. we're just gonna shame you.
Shame.
We're gonna put your pictures all over the place.
Pride Month. Now it's Shame Month.
It's shame. It is shame month now. We're going to shame you. Starting with, what was his name? Go back up there.
Miles Clee.
Starting with you. I don't know what you look like,
That's
but
a funny name. But yeah.
you need to, like, chill. Like, bro.
Let's look at these other articles. You see these other articles? So we have Sound of Freedom as a superhero. And then why did GQ delete an article calling David Zaslav the most hated man in Hollywood? And then anti-sunscreen influencers want you to fry your skin. That last one, sunscreen is actually bad for your skin. I'm just going to go there. All right, next.
Yeah, okay.
Next post on here.
Too much sun is bad for your skin. But
Yeah.
sunscreen, if you think about it, most unnatural thing. Because human beings,
Are supposed to get the sun.
they've been outside for literally the entire history of our race.
Right?
We have literally been a society or a race of beings that have been outside doing stuff like farming and hunting and gathering, you know, the normal stuff that you're
Right.
supposed to do to get
Supposed to
food.
be out in the sun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Brain explosion there.
Yep, so here goes. Left-wing media sees over success of anti-child trafficking film Sound of Freedom, as we just saw. I think this guy's Jim Caviezel. Why does this guy look like fucking that dude? That doesn't look like the same person. But anyways, the movie tells the story of Tim Ballard, who started an organization to fight child sex trafficking. I think that's him, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Tim Ballard. Reports from left-wing news sites, Jezebel and The Guardian, have tried to discredit the hit release Sound of Freedom, linking it to the conspiracy theories. The movie tells the story of Tim Ballard, a man who started an organization to fight child sex trafficking. It starts with Jim Caviezel, who acts the role of the role of Ballard. Damn, I cannot read.
I just don't understand why whenever it comes to doing like actual
Good.
like stopping child trafficking, it's conspiracy.
Yeah, because these people are evil and they're demons, and they need the blood of children in order to survive. And you think I'm gonna be sitting here and be like, I'm gonna dance? No, that's exactly what the fuck they're doing.
I'm convinced at this point that they are not human. They legit just sacrifice them to absorb their life essence or something. Like, there has to be some kind of inhuman reason why they need so many children.
And like, I would be totally fine if they were like, hey, you know, I personally didn't like the movie, but its message is definitely one that everybody needs to watch. You know, that's something that could go. But they're just saying, this
movie's conspiracy,
QAnon
right? Propaganda that
not even real.
You have to be crazy to believe. No. Epstein, you know, that thing that happened real recently. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna write articles. You're gonna write articles about that not being a thing when Epstein was literally a thing, and Hunter Biden, his laptop.
Yeah,
that thing that's been in the news, the outlet.
They're still trying to say that's being blown out of proportion. It's not real, guys. People still don't even believe that shit exists. So yeah, they're gonna go. It's lie until you die. That's how they operate. They're gonna lie until they're in the dirt.
They're gonna lie until they die, or everyone else dies.
Right? Oh yeah.
They're trying to hit that button.
It's gonna be one of those two, isn't it?
They are going to try and hit that nuke everything button.
It's gonna be one of those two. But shit, Jezebel, rated left by All Sides Media, ran a story called "Sound of Freedom" is an anti-child trafficking fantasy fit for QAnon. Written by Rich Juzwiak. I'm not sure to say his name. The report says that the movie is helping to peddle QAnon theories. That's crazy. Let's see what this sounds like.
What is this? Adriana Chrome?
Adrena Chrome. You know,
Chrome.
Do you know that I think for Google Chrome,
yeah,
I think the operating system that they use is called Adreno.
Really?
I think I saw that somewhere. I don't know 100% about it.
Wow.
But I think I've heard that. You have to look that shit up.
Dang.
That's
yeah, I mean, we know about adrenochrome, but
so, if that's real, then I'm like, fuck. Y'all people are insane. What?
It's true. Like, the people who rule the world, you're freaking demonic vampires. straight up just
Demons.
need the blood of children.
Right. So let's see what's he's got to say.
What does this mean to you at this point, starting OUR, trying to like stop all child sex trafficking around the world? What does this mean to you now to see it come this far? Now a movie's being produced about it.
One of the things, I spent 12 years, in the U.S. government fighting this and really learning about it. We didn't even know what it was. The hardest part, or one of the hardest parts, was not being able to talk about it. As a government agent, you don't talk. But I realized, look, this is slavery. And slavery doesn't go away unless it gets really public. And, I was limited in what I could do. So one of the blessings of leaving and becoming private is we can talk freely. We take cameras everywhere, film everything. And we do, we film everything. And so we document these stories because stories are what's going to save the children. We can rescue the one, we can rescue the hundreds, even the thousands, but there's millions. How do you end this? A lesson from history. When Abraham Lincoln met Harry Beecher Stowe, one of the great voices of the abolitionist movement of the 19th century, when he met her for the first time, he said to her, "So you're the little lady that wrote the big book that started this war." What was he saying? He was saying the storytellers are who end slavery. Not even Lincoln had to become converted himself by the storytellers to make the Civil War about liberating the captive. So he's recognizing that. We're recognizing that. There's only so much we can do in extraction operations, but these storytellers, Angel Studios, that man right there, Eduardo Verastegui, Jim Caviezel, Alejandro Monteverde, genius director, they're the heroes. They are the modern day Harry Beecher Stowes. They are the ones that the presidents will come to someday and say, "So you're the guys who made the film."
We need more documentation on this.
That's why I'm excited about it. This is the most important tool that I have ever
Paul
seen.
Walker.
That's what I was thinking of.
Because it creates the movement.
What if he is Paul Walker? And Paul Walker actually,
Conspiracy theory.
Right, and Paul
Now
Walker,
that's a real conspiracy theory.
Paul Walker never died and he just changed his name. Oh shit.
Whoa.
Paul Walker never died and he just changed his name and was like, I'm gonna call my name Jim Caviezel.
I like how this video player has to be done through Rumble because YouTube will not cover this movie.
They won't.
That's how you know. That's how you
like,
know
this
Google is full of pedophiles too. Like the heads of Google.
Yeah, they'll be like, "This is a conspiracy theory, and
Right.
You can't
Right-wing
watch this."
propaganda.
It's blocked.
Something. Yeah.
They probably won't ban your channel, but they'll be like, "Oh, this is blocked in everywhere."
Yeah. It's blocked everywhere. This movie only aired in America. What?
Copyright infringement.
It ticks me off to no end.
What?
That this stuff gets censored as hard as it does and get pushed down.
Right. I think this is the part that he was talking about, where he's in an interview with the dude that I just totally Steve Bannon. There we go. So Tim Ballard talks about the reality he witnessed during his 12 years as a special agent for DHS. The telecom company Ericsson has total surveillance over these child trafficking networks and everyone else. The cartels works for them.
Explains why telecom sucks.
Yeah.
To be confronted with the reality that there are people on this planet, and like I said, not a few, but millions, who want to indulge in watching 5-year-old children be raped, and to watch children's bodies actually break in the act of sexual assault. That say that there's close to 6 million children or more who are forced into sex slavery, labor slavery, or organ harvesting. The United States is the #1 consumer year after year of child rape material. And oftentimes we're close to #1 in production. Baby factory. And these are real cases where they've kidnapped women, as young as 13-year-old children, and they impregnate them, they rape them, and they make babies, and they take these babies and sell them for their organs, sell them for sex. And I think if there's 2 million children forced into commercial sex, which is the most kind of credible statistic that we can find, a lot of people are involved. So there is a more cynical answer to your question, which may be there's people that don't want this exposed because they're involved in it.
Exactly.
Pretty much all of Hollywood.
And if you think about those articles we just read, Washington Post and Rolling Stone, and then the other one, Jezebel.
Yeah.
Why is it that they're against this whole thing? Clearly they are a part of this.
Someone above them, or they themselves, are a part of it.
Yes,
Like,
right?
No way around that.
And it's funny because I know I'm pretty sure the film was like, oh my gosh, she's saying rape and child sex and all this stuff.
Right.
But I mean, shit, that's the reality. If you can't handle that and you just are like, oh, I don't want to hear it.
I don't understand the censorship of words like rape.
Because it's one of those things where people are like, it makes people uncomfortable, so they don't want to hear it. And if you don't want to hear it, then it keeps happening. And this is how people have been taught and learned in life. I don't know if you've ever had this talk with your family or friends or whoever it is, when they're like, oh, now is not the time to talk about that. Right? You ever had anybody tell you that? If anybody ever says that to you, you have to, okay, when is the time to talk about it? They'll probably not have an answer for you.
Yeah.
Because it'll never be.
Uncomfortable talking about
right? They don't want to talk about it.
I hated it when I was a child and they told me to do that because I didn't understand it then, and I don't understand it now.
It's basically they don't want to talk about it at all. Like if they say now's not the time, then your next question should be, when is the time to talk about it?
There are certain times, like maybe you're sitting down to eat with the whole family or something, and
that's the best time. To me, that is the best time because everybody's right there.
Yeah.
You're all sitting in a neutral, like you're all eating.
Yeah.
Like when
would be the better time?
Right? When you're on the shitter, when you're taking a shit, when you're asleep, like when you're on a road trip.
Right.
I mean, at work. Like when would be sitting at the dinner table and everybody's there is the best time to talk about literally everything, any topic that comes to mind. That's like that's what conversations are supposed to be about. But lots of people are just
random stuff that
they're too emotional.
Talk about. Yeah, I get that.
Some people are too emotional and they either can't handle the conversation without getting, all yelly, or they just don't want to talk about it because it makes them uncomfortable. And it's like that's the best time to actually have the conversation because you need to. I mean, yeah, this might make you uncomfortable, but I mean, is it like? If it's a real talk, like a real conversation. And of course, there's probably conversations that probably make people uncomfortable, but they're not important. Like, some kind of personal sexcapade you had with some random chick at the bar.
Who you made out with last night.
Right.
Or what you did in the bedroom with said person.
Right. And it's like, okay, that's not necessary.
No.
But if it's like something that's like a real life situation, then it's okay. Like,
yeah.
when would we talk about this?
That's important.
Right.
Things that actually happen that are tragedies. Tragic.
That's a good word, tragedy. That's a combination of tragedy and travesty. Wait. Yeah, tragedy.
So. I don't think it's a word.
Yeah, I know it's not a word, but I mean, you just kind of combine.
Yeah. See, my inability to speak today has
created a new word.
Spawned a good positive about it.
Tragedy.
Look at the silver lining.
Right.
Tragedy.
Now here is something, right? They're trafficking the fuck out of kids with the U.S. border wide open, but they're distracting us all with bullshit news stories. So this is actually happening.
What was the submarine that happened?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like, don't pay attention. Never pay attention to that.
Yes. When there's a news story that comes out and everybody knows about it, even people who don't pay attention to news, then you know that news content
is BS.
Is BS.
They're posting it literally in every corner of the internet
right?
to distract you from the
to
real
distract
news.
Everyone. So this is talking about how we have the border open and the trafficking is happening at the border.
Yeah.
Thanks to a certain person who calls himself the president and has a crackhead son. All right, here we go.
Your current system has 85,000 kids they can't find. What in the world? It's the New York Times. It's not Fox News. And we're sitting here talking about a fiction of saying there's an infant rolling through somewhere outside of Eagle Pass right now, begging to claim asylum. The infant is not doing that. This is absurd. You know it's absurd. We have language here put forward in good faith,
this man
trying to figure out how to stop.
Is expressing every emotion.
See in this chart behind me, where unaccompanied children are spiking through the roof, have been doing so since Democrats have been in charge of the administration. Yeah. The only blip is when you had a Republican in charge. You had kids on top of train cars, getting abused by cartels. You got numbers spiking through the roof since President Biden has been in office. And all we want to simply do is say, we want to get them home to their families. We want to get them to the place where they can go to a port of entry so we can take care of them. And we're being traded by my colleagues on the other side of the aisle with where are the 1,000 that aren't being reunified? Well, go find the 85,000 that we don't even know where the hell they are under the Biden administration.
Who's he talking to?
I yield back.
I think it's like a Congress hearing or something. You know, it's like a hearing of some sort, and you know they're talking about probably something with the border. I'd assume.
Yeah, well, that's how you should feel on the inside whenever it comes to child trafficking.
Right, and clearly, as
you don't always have to act like that, but I feel like in this case, he had the right to.
Right,
He had every right to.
Yeah,
Talk like that.
This if ever since the border's been wide open, which is ever since Joe Biden's been in charge of the shit.
Yeah.
People have already been like, yeah, cartels are definitely going to use this shit to traffic children.
Traffic children.
And like Joe Biden is sitting here allowing it to happen. It's pretty fucking obvious.
He's probably one of the customers.
What's going
Probably
on?
Customer, if we're being
Pretty fucking obvious.
100% real, because he was in bed with Biden or Obama, probably figuratively and literally.
Yeah, now it's like kind of like, so we're giving billions of dollars to Ukraine. The border's wide open. There's a bunch of children missing. We know at this point Joe Biden is definitely a part of that whole bullshit. And motherfuckers still like, it's good, it's fine, guys.
Good,
no, don't worry, that's not
happening at the border.
We want to let all the illegals in because of asylum and seeking, and they need help.
Stupid.
Y'all motherfuckers.
Stupid.
I'm telling you. I mean, if a civil war doesn't happen because of all the bullshit that's happening in this country, civil war is probably going to happen because of all that. Like, this movie is probably going to rear people up to the point where they're like...
It's revving.
Right?
It's a good, like, catalyst. It's becoming a catalyst. And one gets through. If one of these documentaries can get through, we can get more. We can start moving to get more through.
There's actually, I believe, lots of previous attempts by other stars that were still a part of Hollywood to try to do something about child trafficking, like put out some documentary.
It's good.
If you remember, what was her name? I don't remember her name. I don't remember any of these stars' names, but it was the one star who we saw last year, I believe it was, where she got in a car accident. And, they took her body out of the car, and then as you can see the helicopter view, she
tried to get up.
Yeah, right when they got, she's like, and they just shoved her back down. And then, of course, next time, she died at the hospital. Oh.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Then there's Chester Bennington. I think that's his name, from Linkin Park. Yeah, apparently he was doing something with some kind of documentary with child trafficking. There was another guy called, I forgot that guy's name. He had it was like a weird alias name. He was like a DJ or some kind of DJ type of person. He was apparently friends with Chester Bennington, who was also doing something with child trafficking. There's also, I think, the dude, fucking Paul Walker. I heard he was doing something with that also.
Yeah.
Car accident. There seems to always be something where these Hollywood stars.
It always seems to be accidental deaths.
Right.
With these stars.
Yep. So.
Wait, what are the comments saying on this video? I'm very curious.
30 missing children in Cleveland in 2 weeks' time. Oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
That's
30?
a lot. He's like, what?
What?
Yeah, that's not.
Nani?
That's yeah. Props to him staying so calm. Yes, calm. No, I'm not being sarcastic. Yeah, I mean...
Honestly, yeah.
Because it could have been a lot better.
He could have been swinging.
Oh, and I like how this person puts community notes. You know what community notes are? Mm-hmm. Community notes is when they have on Twitter, when they have that little thing at the bottom that says, actually, this video is from a ... and it's trying to like fact check basically. Mm-hmm. So this person put community notes. How long ago did they put community notes? 19 hours ago, and they haven't added anything. So, did it not work? Didn't work out for you?
Didn't quite work out for you. Can't really say anything about it. You know,
didn't get to discredit this video.
Can't discredit. There's no like alternate information. This is misinformation.
Right. It's heart-wrenching how the focus often shifts away from the crucial issues. Our children's safety. Our children's safety.
I can't speak. You can't read.
Right, a top priority. Out of control. Facts. Who is that? I want to follow. Chip Roy, yeah. Chip Roy in Texas. Yes. I guess I'll go ahead and follow him too.
Do it.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. All the
everyone's just kind of agreeing with this guy, which is pretty good. Yeah.
It's a QAnon conspiracy theory.
This guy read the article.
It's a QAnon conspiracy theory. Damn. So now though, remember this guy?
Yeah. Steve-O.
Something that you probably didn't know that I didn't know is that he had this tattoo on his arm.
Oh.
And he changed it to this.
What's not any better?
Yeah. That's pretty bad. And his explanation, right?
Almost.
His explanation.
Just as bad.
So over the line. Okay, it was 2006. And I was getting drunk with my buddies.
Getting drunk, of course.
We're talking about how we never wanted to have kids, or at least I felt really strongly about it. So I said, okay, I'll get a tattoo of a baby with a circle and a slash going through it, like a no baby sign. And we thought that was kind of funny, but we kept drinking, and then I was like, oh, no, I'll get fuck babies, right? But then I thought, I don't want to make people read more words. I've already got so many words. And then I ended up going with an image of a guy fucking a baby. When I got that tattoo, I knew that I was crossing the line. And that was the whole reason that I got it. This was my crazy stunt that I was doing. But,
and then it stops right there.
There is no but, Steve.
The thing is that it's weird how, he got the tattoo, but then there's somebody who actually did the tattoo. There was the person.
I want to know who did the tattoo.
You're kind of like,
I want to know.
I don't think I feel comfortable making this tattoo. This.
How much do they get paid?
I don't think I
don't.
This tattoo
Not that it's important how much they got paid, of course.
Right.
But I'm curious because I want to know how much money it took for
him
artist.
to
for an artist.
It was probably just the regular price.
No. No amount of money.
It seems like this is the regular price. Now, to be fair, though, I guess I understand back in the day, people were very, very, what's it called? Edgy, what I'm saying? So, and, he's obviously an edgy
And on the
person.
other hand, the artist would be like, you get a chance to do a tattoo for Steve-O.
Right.
And you're like, you have that street cred now, but
yeah, it's the tattoo, though. That's the thing,
just,
what I'm saying?
You're like, I did a tattoo for Steve-O. Oh, what was it?
Oh, I don't want to tell you that.
Confidentiality notice.
Right. But one thing, though, I would say is if he comes out and you find out that Steve-O actually got convicted for doing something with, small children, then okay, everything, nope, okay, you nope, no credit, nope.
Mm-hmm.
Edgy, okay, but if you actually done something, and it's kind of like, okay, you've gone quite a bit far there, buddy. Quite a bit far. And then here we go with the, Kareem Dennis, a political activist from London, spoke about the crimes of NATO in the United States, human trafficking, and the sexual exploitation of children by American contractors.
We need to get out of NATO.
Yeah.
Now, when we think about what NATO actually has done in a material way, I feel that when we watch the mainstream media, certainly in England and I'm sure in the United States, you get this sort of vague notion that NATO is some sort of united colours of Benetton, save the world, children's charity almost. NATO's war in Afghanistan produced 5.3 million refugees. That was a quarter of the Afghan population. It left 72% of the Afghan population in poverty and rendered Afghans statistically the saddest people in the world. We know that after NATO's humiliating exit from Afghanistan, the US government spitefully decided to freeze $9.5 billion worth of assets in the Afghan central bank. That would lead to 97% poverty rate in the last year or so. Before the US invasion, we know that opium production in Afghanistan was almost zero. Following the occupation, over 90% of the world's heroin came from Afghanistan. And funnily enough, the Helmand province was the center of opium production during the NATO occupation. And it just so happened that the British military had 10,000 soldiers on 140 bases in the Helmand province at the same time. What else is the NATO legacy in Afghanistan? Well, a company by the name of DynCorp. Many of us, the interesting thing about the way the US is able to outsource what it does is it obscures some of its most ugly and heinous crimes in the anonymity of obscurely named vague companies like DynCorp. It was one of them. It was a security company which actually enjoyed on its parent board, Veritas, the Secretary of State in the Bush administration, Richard Armitage. Well, DynCorp was revealed by WikiLeaks to have had workers in Kabul hiring child sex slaves from among the Afghan population. What about Armor Group, the US security company tasked with guarding the US embassy during the NATO occupation? Its employees were found to have violated the Trafficking Victims Protection Act by visiting brothels in Kabul. Eventually all that happened was the parent company G4S paid a fine to the US government and nothing was done, and that was...
Damn. So yeah.
Is a bitch.
Yeah, whenever you see those situations where people are like, oh no, the United Nations is coming to take all your shit, and then people are like, okay.
Okay.
Let's see it. I wanna see what happens.
Yeah.
They just smile and wave, boys.
Man, this
smile
only
and
has. Wait, what?
What?
3,000 views and 9 retweets, 2 quotes, and 14 likes. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, because it came out last.
When we think about
that's weird. It came out last night, like 9:29 p.m. So that could be why. But at the same time, yeah, you know, it's
probably getting buried.
Yeah, buried by Twitters.
Buried.
But yes, that's the sound of freedom, man. So if you ever wondered, you gotta pay attention to what's going on, because if you don't, that's what we're doing. This is a clip from our podcast called The Oreyo Show, which you can watch live on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. If you would like to watch these clips somewhere other than YouTube, you can also check us out on Odyssey, Rumble, or Player, where you will get more clips that we cannot post on YouTube. If you like what we are doing here, you can support the channel by joining our locals or Subscribestar. Also, you can join our Discord server and keep in contact with us, as well as send us clips or videos that you would like us to talk about on an upcoming show. And don't forget to check the links down in the description to see what else we have going on. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.